Hey, Pete here from RC Car Action and Boost. As you can see, we have a fresh Tamiya model to build. This is the Volkswagen Type 2. A Type 1 would be a Beetle. Type 2, of course, is the bus, so if we want to use the actual Volkswagen name, a transporter or Kombi or camper, depending on where you live. And this particular model is actually the Sunroof Deluxe, as it was called in the USA or elsewhere in the world, the Samba. And this is the 23 window model because it's got these little corner windows on the back. So this is a pretty coveted bus amongst VW bus enthusiasts. And as a Type 1 version of the Type 2 bus, it's got that signature giant emblem on the front and this kind of swooping detail with the white upper body and colored lower body that distinguishes the Samba Sunroof Deluxe models. It's also even got the little overhang, which apparently Tamiya or VW enthusiasts call a hat on this vehicle, which is pretty cool. And I just pulled that all from the Wikipedia page, which you can check out because it's a really interesting vehicle, as most VWs tend to be. But let's get a look inside the box, and before we do that, I'll show you some hop-ups we're going to put on this one as we build it, and this will be another fun Tamiya build. So the first thing we've got are these M chassis aluminum damper units, which are really ultra premium. The kit has friction shocks, which will work just fine to make the truck drive around. Of course, it's a little bit of a bouncy ride, but that's probably in character for the original Volkswagen platform. But these are super nice. These are aluminum with anodized caps, all the good stuff that Tamiya puts in their premium shocks. You can see white springs on there, but there are also additional springs in the box. So these are super nice. Also have this premium aluminum motor plate. You can see how nicely that's machined. The stock plate is plastic. Again, it'll work just fine with the included Mabuchi motor, but if you want to install something hotter or you just like cool parts, this is certainly a beautiful piece of aluminum. Also have the CV axle set. This is a two-wheel drive vehicle. It's rear motor and rear wheel drive, which is what a full-size Volkswagen bus would be. Also have a set of bearings to replace the plastic bushings that the kit uses. There might be some oil-like bushings in there as well, but for sure these bearings are going to spin faster than whatever's in the box. And I've got some genuine Tamiya paint to finish this off in the required Tamiya color. You can use other brands of red, black, and white, but keeping it Tamiya is always nice and makes the build a little extra special. And of course, Tamiya makes really good paint, so nice to have Tamiya paint for a Tamiya model. So let's clear this stuff out of the way and we'll get a look inside the box. As we've come to expect from Tamiya, the packing job is very efficient. Everything tucks inside the body. We'll go ahead and pull this out. You can see the roof has this rippled effect. That's because the full-size model has a canvas roof that you can roll back. You can see all the windows that Tamiya has faithfully duplicated here. This nice vent detailing on the back. You've also got the dual side doors, which are correct for this model. There's that overhang I was talking about, which they apparently call a hat if you're a VW enthusiast. And that's a difficult thing to mold in Lexan, because once you suck the Lexan over the tool, that part is going to be captured. You won't be able to pull the body off the top of the mold. So to recreate that in Lexan, Tamiya has to use a multi-piece mold with a section that would fold away or do something else to let the body come off the tool. So Tamiya, as usual, really going out of their way to get the details right on this model. Here's your VW emblem. Gas filler door. You get the detailing. Your engine compartment would be here, and this of course is your actual opening door for getting into and out of the back of the bus. So as always, the bodies are beautifully done, and the fenders are nicely delineated, so those are easy to trim out. Very nice. We've got some strip style tire foams. I remember when these were how tire foams were always done. Certainly some molded urethane inserts would be great, but you don't need that for this kind of a model. These will work just fine for filling up the tires and giving them some artificial PSI. We've got our trees with our friction shock bodies, body posts. Got 2 of those. In this bag we've got bumpers. Also some light buckets. And there's your rear view mirror. And these little cones should be the directionals for the front of the van. And some lovely chrome wheels. These look great. You can see they're pretty small. These are the M size. But Tamiya does really nice chrome work. And you can see they left the mounting areas unplated, so you can glue the tires on. I suspect you can probably leave the tires unglued on this vehicle, but we'll see. Here you can see the plastic version of the motor plate that we will replace with aluminum. Otherwise, this is your transmission parts tree. And it's got standard 12mm drive hexes, the usual Tamiya stuff. Here we have some more chassis parts. This will be the upper front part of the chassis. And this chassis is available as the M-06S for short, the M-06M for medium, and the M-06L for long. This one's an L, which makes it a long chassis. And they all have the same chassis, but you put in different length spacers or extra bulkheads to adjust the wheelbase. Here's your body posts. Always exciting to see body posts. Here we have some steering parts. Your steering knuckles, rear uprights, C-hubs, more chassis parts. Here you can see you've got basically the same part in 2 different lengths, and that is what will set the wheelbase. So we're going to use these 3-hole, well actually they both have 3 holes, but these longer versions for the longer wheelbase. Tamiya supplies a speed control. And no shortage of plastic bags. This is the TBLE02S, which is a nice little inclusion because it's a nice speed control, but also it can run brushed and brushless motors. So that's a great thing to have right in the box, especially at the price point. This kit goes for around $170, $180 or so. Given Tamiya quality, all that detail, getting a speed control in there for that price is also very nice. And this should have some film on that panel, which of course I have to peel off. Yes. Here are our parts bags. If you've never built a kit before, all the parts are bagged and the bags are lettered or numbered, depending on the brand. So it's easy to keep your parts organized. You've got a standard Mabuchi 540 motor. We've seen these a million times in Tamiya kits. It's kind of the standard RC motor. Got some shock springs in there and hardware. Looks like a little foam bumper. Drivetrain parts, and almost lost that. We've got our gears, which are extra wide. To me, it really overdoes it, which is not a bad thing in the drivetrain department. They always have extra thick gears, or extra wide gears, I should say. Servo saver parts. A-bag, we've got some oil light bushings and your differential internals. And we got servo tape and body clips. Here are our tires, or at least one pair of them. Tamiya actually does two separate compounds. There's a softer tire for the rear and a firmer tire for the fronts. So I can get these out. Get a nice treaded design. And this would be a real steamroller of a tire for a full-size VW bus. But certainly in RC scale, they're going to work a lot better with more rubber on the road than a scale-accurate, really narrow tire. You'll get a tire like that. I don't think that would really work very well for RC. So I don't mind Tamiya taking a little license in the tire department. Our beige bag has a different compound. These feel like the softer ones, but of course the manual will make that clear. Here is the main chassis. So that's the chassis you'll get with any Tamiya M-06, and depending on how you configure it, you can make it the short, medium, or long wheelbase. And this little piece back here will get clipped out. Some more chassis bits and steering linkage or steering bell crank parts. This is the back half of the chassis. And we've got a whole bunch of window masks and all your decals for the window molding, as well as emblems and lights, etc. And of course you get a manual. For this one, you get a chassis manual and a separate manual for painting and assembling the body. And this should be a pretty quick and easy build. I'm actually going to send this one down to my guy Leroy because he will do all the body painting. Here you can see that short, medium, and long setup for the chassis. And you've got Tamiya's traditional differential internals, very stout stuff, proven over years and years and countless numbers of models. There's your gearbox assembly. I've always liked how Tamiya has this little cup that you use to set the pinion distance from the motor so you get the mesh just right. But yeah, Tamiya stuff, always great. This will be a nice build. So that is the Tamiya Volkswagen Type 2 out of the box. We'll get this built up with those upgrade parts. And you'll see this in car action as well as at Boost. And of course, I'm sure we'll be sharing photos on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, etc.